What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Awesemo.com coming to you with my 3-4 Jock Market today. If you haven't had a chance to check out Jock Market yet, it is fantasy sports turned into the stock exchange. Every single second of every single game, you have an opportunity to make money based on the analysis, based on what is happening live. Plus, there's a pregame IPO phase, which is before the games even start, before the slate even starts, where you're able to get the shares of players at discounted rates and then sell them later on if you would like, or hold on to them for the end for the payout grading. So you're able to do that constantly throughout the day. Makes it really fun. Use promo code Awesemo to get $100 bonus on that first deposit as well. They have markets for NHL as well, PGA, which is going to be a lot of fun for this weekend, Players Championship, TPC Sawgrass. So definitely want to take advantage of that promotion. Now, let's get to my picks. For my first pick, I want to give you an expensive guy, a mid-tier guy, and somebody I expect to be very, very cheap here on Jock Market for today. But let's start with the expensive guy, Nikola Jokic. I really don't see any way around it. Nikola Jokic is a guy I'm prioritizing for DFS against this AAA Golden State team. No Andrew Wiggins, no Steph Curry, no Klay Thompson. None of them traveled to Denver, and that means Nikola Jokic should have a heyday. Now, it's an 8-point spread, but that's still just not enough for me to really get away from the upside of Jokic. And in case anybody missed it, 46 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. He played 43 minutes, but he had already gotten there before that 5 minutes of overtime. That really put him over the edge, though, there. Oh, and 7 stocks to go along with it here. Stocks are only worth 2 over on Jock Market, so there's that. But because of the efficiency in shooting compared to the other studs, I mean, we're looking at him as a guy that on the season is shooting, 36% from 3, but 57% from the field. Because it's negative 0.5 points for missed shots over on Jock Market, I think he is by far the guy that I have the most positive vibes going towards here on the top end. Plus, just the math kind of grades it out. He is the stud that you should be prioritizing as your pay-up option on Jock Market. We have a fair IPO price currently of $17.70. That automatically vaults him into a top 3 consideration. He is the best player that you can possibly go to towards the top end. Slight edge out of LeBron James, just barely behind him there. LeBron James, sure, you can definitely go up for him. We saw what he can do over the weekend against this same Golden State team, but I'm just siding with Nikola Jokic here every single time. For my mid-tier pick, and I'm making a couple of assumptions here because there's a lot of news that is still going to break as the day goes on, but look at Dennis Schroeder. I got to be watching that news. I do not want Dennis Schroeder in on this game. And also, Eric Gordon, I think there is a chance does not play in this game. He played yesterday in Sunday's contest in a surprising 123-112 win against Memphis. Pay attention to that news here with Houston because I think there's an opportunity to go to Jalen Green. And this is not a guy who's been very good throughout this entire season. I think he's one of the most disappointing players in the league to this point compared to my expectations for him. But when you see positive leverage in the boom bust on other sites, specifically looking at DK or FD or wherever else, it seems like a guy who's just going underrepresented currently for what his role could be in this spot. And on Jock Market, that translates. So when you have positive leverage for a player, they're going underappreciated. And that means I expect them to not really receive many bids. We have a current fair price right now for Jalen Green of just $1.70. So he's considered one of the cheapies here on the board, even though there's somebody cheaper that I still have some interest in. We're going to start seeing that usage spike up. We're going to see the minutes start to trend up here as well. He's played north of 30 minutes now in every single contest since Valentine's Day. So we have an opportunity to see Jalen Green seeing an increased workload. If Dennis Schroeder is active, this is just a complete write-off for me. And that's the nice thing about Jock Market is you can only identify the spots based on what their current situation is going to be. You don't have to invest in anybody the way that you have to build out an 8 or a 9 person lineup. You can just pick the 1 or 2 players you're really confident in. But my expectation is that with Dennis Schroeder off the floor and the possibility of Eric Gordon off the floor, I would like to see that as well. But you know what? I'm still probably going to invest so long as Schroeder's not there. I think Jalen Green is a surprise candidate to really start trending up in terms of salary across the entire industry, as well as being a surprise guy who could put up 40 or 50 fantasy points sooner than you think. Is this an abysmal Miami matchup? Sure is, but that's part of my expectation of Schroeder and Eric Gordon possibly not playing here, and that could mean tons and tons of usage for Jalen Green. And for my last pick, we are looking at a very chalky possibility, not just Portland on one side of this game, but Minnesota Timberwolves here, massive 15-point favorites. I've been a Timberwolves fan my whole life. I can't remember the last time, probably never happened in my life, that the Minnesota Timberwolves have been 15-point favorites in any game in the post-Kevin Garnett era. The first stint, not the second one, obviously. But we are looking at a Minnesota team that could be absent of both Anthony Edwards, who I do not expect to play, and Patrick Beverley, who is right now questionable. We have him in the projections, but that is why I'm putting you guys on high alert about this play right now. It is Jaylen Nowell. He is from Washington Huskies. He's an absolute stud from a fantasy perspective when he gets opportunities. And with no Patrick Beverley in this lineup, possibility of no Taurean Prince as well, somebody who's questionable for this contest. He could get a lot of second unit run for this Minnesota team. And we saw what he could do against Portland in that last matchup 2 days ago, in this exact same matchup, 24 minutes, 27 fantasy points on Jock Market. This could be an absolute smash here in the event that you get Patrick Beverley out. So that is the main piece of news I want you guys to be paying attention to. There are a lot of Portland pieces that I'm going to have interest in on Jock Market as well. I'm going to really kind of figure out who is going a little bit overvalued and undervalued based on those pregame IPO shares. And I believe those projections are free, so definitely be checking those out here. There's no better time than now to take advantage of free projections on Jock Market, simply because the field is not doing that at a high enough clip. So Jaylen Nowell, right now, only projected for 10 cents in terms of a fair IPO price, but that is because Patrick Beverley is currently in. If he is ruled out, this is the guy that I want shares in on the bottom end. So fire up Jaylen Nowell in the event that you get all of these Minnesota pieces out. And these are my 3 plays for today. So that's Nikola Jokic here at the top end. Jalen Green as a mid-tier option if he ends up being expensive. If he's cheap, even better. And then at the far bottom end, Jaylen Nowell pending all of this Minnesota news and Portland. We want all those Portland pieces on the other side across the industry. Let me know in the comment section below what you think about these plays. If there's anybody else you've got your eye on that you think might be going a little bit under the radar over on Jock Market for today. But most importantly, take advantage of promo code Awesemo. Get that $100 deposit bonus on your first deposit. Play in the NHL and PGA streets as well over on Jock Market. So much fun. Best of luck today. We'll see you guys later.